Yesterday, I covered the Collectorcade from Arcade1Up, and that's a product that clearly there's a market for it. There are a lot of competitors there for a reason trying to sell those little mini shelf-top arcades, but it's not something that's really for me. I'm glad to see that this has dropped at Games, so another new product, and it's basically a head-to-head Countercade. Well, I said basically before I read the headline. Yes, it's a head-to-head Countercade, literally. Anyway, they did this before at Pong, and I always thought this looked really nice. I felt like the price was a little steep at $230, but they really nailed it with the artwork, and just this format, I think, lends itself really well to a miniature cocktail table. And especially if you don't have room and you just want to put something on a coffee table, I think this makes sense. If you guys remember the original cocktail cabinets, the original head-to-heads or whatever the heck 1UP calls them, they were talked about as furniture. They were talked about as maybe a replacement to a coffee table, that sort of thing. And they sat lower than a real commercial cocktail cabinet, so they weren't really comfortable to sit at. I would know because I bought one of them, the Street Fighter Black series, and that machine is about perfect when you put 7-inch legs at the bottoms. But if you don't do that, it's extremely uncomfortable. But it's also not really helpful as a coffee table either. But I bring all that up to say this. This is something you would put on a coffee table, which makes a ton more sense because you can move it out of the way and you could hunch over, quickly play a round of Galaga or whatever. We'll take a look at the games that are included because check this out. They're getting real free and easy with that Galaga 88, which I like to see. Whereas in the past, this thing was like gold and you couldn't get it except for on some weird form factors. But there's finally, we're starting to get Galaga 88 more often. Anyway, I think the artwork on this looks awesome. And obviously you could see it for yourself. We do have the audio jack. And I don't know if that means we're going to have the audio problems brought about by splitting the audio signal to the headphone jack and also to the speakers itself. Look, this is something I don't understand. I just don't. I didn't understand. I think iiRcade supports Bluetooth. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I guess in a rare case when you want to really jam out and relax and do it in silence. I don't know. But at least with being Bluetooth, there wasn't a physical jack. There didn't seem to be any issues with their audio. But in a lot of the 1UPs that have this port, the 3.5mm auxiliary port, which increasingly it's probably, headphones are moving away from that anyway. Everything's moving toward wireless in a big way. I mean, some phones don't even have these ports anymore. I don't know. Do you really want to play the little 2-player head-to-head machine, but in privacy and solitude with headphones? I think that's weird. If it's just here and the audio on the cabinet itself is fine, then it's totally no harm, no foul. Who cares? It's there if you want it. If you don't want it, it doesn't matter. But if it does compromise the audio, that would be unfortunate. Other than that, if we assume the audio levels are fine here, and we won't know until these are out in people's hands, the games list looks good. The pricing, $150. Again, I know that's not how that translates to US dollars from pound sterling, but if we assume the translation plus you assume the VAT, it's going to probably be sold somewhere around $150 in the US. Almost certainly not the $230 of Pong. I don't know if Pong is just weirdly expensive to license or what the heck's going on there. But I think this is a winner. I really do. I think it looks great. These are the two canonical arcade games of all arcade games. I think there's going to be a big audience for this. And it's small enough to be fun and portable and not super intrusive to your living room, but it's also looks like an arcade machine. And anytime Arcade1Up does something that looks nothing like an arcade machine, looking at micro consoles, which were junk, I think they kind of stumble. I don't think a lot of people are interested in that from them. But this isn't that. This looks like an arcade machine. It's just small, convenient, with killer artwork. Anyway, for the titles, we're getting Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Super Pac, awesome, Galaxian, Galaga, and Galaga 88. Generous with the games list, in my opinion, at this price point. I don't see really anything else to talk about here other than these dimensions, which you could take a look at. But this is clearly going to be the same as Pong. So if you've seen that or watched a review of that, I think we're in for the same level of quality here, just for joystick-based games. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll have to keep an eye on this game website. They keep dropping new stuff. Again, no official announcement from 1UP, but this games listing is clearly legit. So look forward to this coming out. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and I'll talk to you soon.